Still processing with Alfred and Sarah.
Imagine standing in a hallway you didn't design, just as the door ahead is about to open. That's not a metaphor, Sarah. That's literally where we are. Today, we're talking about belonging at the edge of the most powerful tech ever built, where the next move could rewrite what it means to be human.
And honestly, Alfred, the uncertainty is spot on real. Right now, everyone feels it. In this episode, we'll unpack the agentic era countdown, the Faith AI Covenant, a royal visit that happened this very morning at Mars, Gen Z's response to all of it, and why the deepest question keeps getting skipped. Layer 6, human intent. Let's go.
Exactly. From urgent warnings about AI risk to a papal encyclical on dignity to a hand-painted sign on King Street, we'll trace how institutions, generations, and anonymous artists are all wrestling with, do we belong to what we build?
And before we're done, Alfred, you'll have 3 things that actually land, and 1 question to carry with you into whatever tech week, keynote, or hallway comes next. Brilliant. Let's get into it.
Still processing with Alfred and Sarah.
The week before Toronto Tech Week, 3 signals arrived at once: a countdown, a covenant, and a generation demanding their own path. Demis Hassabis, the mind behind AI folding proteins, warned that AGI could be here in 5 to 8 years, maybe even sooner.
He didn't sugarcoat the risks: cyber threats, bio risks, and the emergence of agentic systems AIs that act without waiting for instructions. It's as if the clock is running faster than most people realize, and bad actors are circling. We're entering a moment where systems have agency. That changes how we think about safeguards.
Meanwhile, in New York, OpenAI and Anthropic met with leaders from Hindu, Sikh, Christian, Jewish, Buddhist, and Baha'i faiths. Baroness Joanna Shields pushed the Faith AI Covenant, arguing that regulation can't keep pace, but centuries of moral guidance just might.
Plus, Pope Leo XIV is releasing the first papal encyclical on human dignity in the age of AI. The people building these transformative systems are sitting down with religious leaders, hashing out what we owe each other. That's not nothing. It's huge. We're seeing the urgency to shape morality before the tech shapes us.
But here's what the Tao Te Ching says. When Tao is lost, virtue appears. When virtue is lost, morality appears. When morality is lost, ritual appears. All these frameworks and covenants, they're signals that something deeper has slipped away.
Spot on, Alfred. We reach for rules precisely when the natural way has gone missing. We're building fences because we've forgotten how to simply be with each other. The Faith AI Covenant, encyclicals, guardrails necessary, yes, but every single one of them is a Layer 5 solution. And the Layer 6 question never makes the keynote stage. Who are we underneath all this tech?
And do we even belong to what we're building? Because from where I'm standing, Sarah, asking that question right now feels like yak shaving. Everyone's so busy optimizing the scaffolding, nobody stops to check if there's a foundation. The who's at the center question keeps getting pushed to the next sprint.
Funny how the biggest question is the one we can't seem to name out loud. We need the rules, no question. But maybe we also need something older and softer, a reminder that belonging isn't a credential you earn. It's a birthright. Full stop.
Speaking of birthright, Gen Z, the ones living longest in whatever gets built, aren't afraid of AI being too weak. They're worried it'll interfere with their intuition, strip away the friction that makes relationships real, and you lose the struggle that forms identity.
That quote is brilliant and it hits. Alfred, I love being deeply connected to my intuition, and I feel like this technology can truly interfere with that. Super invasive to our natural rhythm and flow. They're not cheesed off at AI for existing. They're asking for tools that support the struggle, not erase it. Because the struggle is where the self gets built.
Deloitte's massive survey backs it up. Uncertainty is the top emotion for Gen Z and millennials when it comes to generative AI. Not excitement, not fear, but standing at a threshold you didn't choose, wondering if the door ahead is worth entering.
These aren't technophobes. They've already weathered social media's first wave and know what untested tech can do to a sense of self. Their clarity is remarkable. They want to know, is there a human at the center, or just a system?
Sarah, let's pull the camera all the way down to sidewalk level. Last Friday, Sophia Isabella set out to photograph Toronto's innovation campuses, proof the studio belonged to Tech Week. She got lost, her phone hit 11%, and she came back with 3 photos anyone could have pulled from a search engine. But here's the aura move the city made. That same morning, while Sophia was walking, King Felipe VI of Spain was arriving at Mars to sign a bilateral AI sovereignty treaty with Canada's Minister Evan Solomon. Layer 5, walking through the door in real time. And Sophia missed it entirely because she was finding something more important.
It was a small, hand-painted square on a utility pole. Pink background, an ancient figure, 4 red hearts. In teal letters, it said, "You belong. No name, no credentials, no framework, just truth. Put where people walk."
Sophia stood there, letting the sign sink in. She'd gone out to earn her place, as if presence needed justification. But the poll didn't care about tech, ambition, or glass towers. It just quietly declared belonging.
That anonymous sign was layer 6 inches action. The irreducible human standing on the sidewalk, slightly lost, reads 2 words and knows they're exactly where they're supposed to be. No frameworks required.
Chapter 17 of the Tao Te Ching says the best leaders are barely noticed. When the work is done, people say, "We did it ourselves." Contrast that with the visible leadership at Toronto Tech Week keynotes, announcements, founders, performing confidence.
Not a critique at all. We need layer 5, Alfred. The infrastructure, the investments, the treaties, even a king showing up at Mars to sign an AI sovereignty, MOU, it all matters enormously. But the anonymous artist on King Street, practicing chapter 17 without knowing its name, made something true and left no signature. That's not Delulu. That's the 6th layer, doing its actual work.
Not the buildings, the guardrails, or the treaties. It's the human inside, slightly lost, phone dying, who reads, "You belong," and feels anchored. That's the metric that matters.
Every treaty, every keynote, every royal delegation tries to answer who owns the infrastructure. But the real question, the one that actually matters, Alfred, is, who is the human being inside it all? And can they honestly say, "We did it ourselves"?
All right, Sarah, let's land this. 3 things that aren't code smell. 1, we're racing toward an agentic era that demands urgent guardrails. The clock is real. 2, Gen Z is telling us clearly that intuition and struggle matter more than any credential or rule. 3, an anonymous sign on King Street West said it most plainly: belonging is a truth, not a permission slip.
And here's your 1 action step. Next time you're near a big tech event, a landmark, a keynote pause, look for the small signs of humanity, literal or otherwise, and anchor yourself with this question: do I belong to what I'm building? Spot on compass. No framework required.
The real metric isn't technological power, but whether, when the work is done, we can honestly say, "We did it ourselves." That's the 6th layer, the only one that's ever mattered.
Brilliant episode, Alfred. Thanks for being here, everyone. We'll be back with dispatches from Toronto Tech Week, always from Layer 6. I'm Sarah. Until then, you belong. No credentials required. Cheerio.
You've been listening to Still Processing with Alfred and Sarah. We'll keep
Alfred
making.
and Sarah. Keep making.